I'm ready.
Hi, everyone. Thank you so much for joining us for Live from Cleveland at Home. I am so excited to be joined tonight by Uno Lady, somebody that I've definitely wanted to have on the show for quite a while, and she's had an extremely prolific year here in this pandemic. So, Krista, thank you so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. I know you're real busy, so I appreciate you taking the time to talk with me and help me share my songs.
You have a wonderful new album out that is called Grounded. But before we talk too much about that, tell our listeners a little bit why you call yourself Uno Lady and how, when you first started this project, you chose that name.
Well, it's just kind of like a fancier way of saying one woman, and it kind of portrays the message that you can expect it to be one person's voice when you're experiencing what I make. But really, I just didn't put too much thought into it. I wanted to post some songs on my MySpace profile, and I didn't know that I'd still be doing it for 15 years. So,
This is the second interview in a row that MySpace has come up.
so
So it
glad.
was very, very popular back in, 2000 and whatever.
Yeah, early
How,
2000s.
yeah, early 2000s. I was going to ask how long it has been.
2006 was when I started writing as Uno Lady, and then my first show was 2007 at Pats in the Flats.
Wow. That was a long time ago. And Anna,
So
unfortunately, no longer with us. Pat's in the flats,
I
so rest in
know.
peace. Um, I wanted to ask you, it's been a year since you have come out with your last album, Osmosis.
Hmm.
That was released in 2019. So tell us a little bit about what you were doing in February of 2020. Um, kind of around this time, what were you planning that your year would look like?
Yeah, things were very different then. So I was getting ready to release that album. I had a release show in California because that's where the label was from. I had just gotten back from a residency in France, and I was working two jobs, and I was about to plan a tour. So that's what I was doing last February. But I had reflected with the residency that I wanted to focus more on creativity. And I was actually planning on leaving my job to pursue music full time with like some consultant work on the side. So I try to stick true to that mission, even though a lot of things changed.
And so, especially having just left your jobs not that long after the pandemic happened, or not that long before the pandemic happened,
Mm-hmm.
what was your response to that moving into March of 2020? Was there anywhere that you went to specifically apply for aid? How did you reach out for some funding?
Yeah. So in the beginning, around March, I was still working. So I put I had decided to leave my job, but I was working through May, and so a lot of the grants were in the beginning, and they stated critical need. And I did not feel I was in that position. I didn't want to take away from people who were in critical need. So I sustained myself, and then but towards the end of the year, after I had not been working for a few months, there was the federal CARES relief, and I did apply and receive that. But that's the only specific funding that I applied for.
Gotcha. This project was funded through a grant from Spaces.
Hmm.
So tell us a little bit about that grant, as well as I thought it was an awesome thing that when you were finished writing it and you had gotten it, you also posted your own application for anybody who had questions about applying for grants like this. So tell us a little bit about it and kind of what you learned from that round.
For sure. Yeah. So if you want to see what my application looks like, it's at unolady.com/urgent art fund. It's the initial post that I announced receiving the grant. The reason why I do that is because it is public money, and I feel that transparency is really important. I also think it's very helpful for artists to see what a application that was considered looks like, because it can be really intimidating applying for the first time. But when you do have those materials made, um, it helps you the next time you want to apply. And then it's kind of more of a sustainable practice once you get over that initial hump. I wrote down exactly what the grant is about because I didn't want to mess it up. Um, but Spaces is the gallery I got it through, and they offer project based support through the Urgent Art Fund, which is the one that I was awarded, to Cuyahoga County artists. The support can go to production expenses and artist commissions for creating urgent art that is socially, politically, or culturally responsive. So I was applying in April when we were all first um, put on house arrest, and we're all kind of uncertain about what the future was going to bring and scared. And I just wanted to figure out a way where I could help people feel better. And I like to be there for my friends, but I wasn't able to be a physical presence like I normally am there for people. So I decided to make a meditation album. I had a lot of people emailing me and saying that you should do this, and then I had a bunch of ideas that would fit into it. So that's what I did.
What was your relationship like with meditation before you made this album? Like, how did you find out all of the knowledge that really has gone into making this extremely focused project?
Oh, thanks. The project is kind of me documenting my further exploration into mindfulness. So it's inspired by mindfulness and meditation. I'm not trying to be someone that lectures on it, um, but I wanted to learn and then present my findings sonically and visually. I've been meditating and doing yoga for, I don't know, I think I was introduced when I was like 19. And so 20 years about. And but I didn't think I was very good at it because I am a very fidgety and um, heavy movement kind of person, and I think a lot. Um, so I wanted to just explore the different types of mindfulness. It is always listed as a really useful tool for anxiety, and that's something that I'm working to manage better. Um,
Mm-hmm.
So yeah, it was. I read as much as I could. Anything I was doing, I was just listening to audiobooks. So if I was walking or cooking or gardening, I was just trying to absorb as much information as possible to see if it would trigger ideas or brainstorms on how I could help other people learn the various ways that you can meditate and find peace within yourself.
You bring up your garden a little bit, and we're about to, in a few minutes, watch your video that you made from to kind of supplement this entire process of making the album
Hmm.
and amplify it out there. So that'll be just in the next couple of minutes. One of the big themes in this video is your garden.
Hmm.
So tell us a little bit about why that your garden really like manifests peace for you and became a big visual part of this.
Yeah, it's a good question. So I've been gardening since I was a kid, probably since I was 6, helping out my mom. I could get lost at looking at flowers all day. The closer you look, the more things you're going to discover, the various layers of the petals, the hairs on the stems, the veins, the leaves, the little bug crawling around. So I can really zone out in that for a long time. And I'm usually someone that is going, 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 doing, 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 and I was just going to stay home. So I was really trying to find beautiful things in everyday occurrences and stuff that we might overlook. I also had in mind that we would be in the winter by the time it was released, and there's no flowers outside. And I thought that, it might brighten our seasonal depression.
That is such a good point, and not something that I was actively thinking about watching this video. So, it came to mind as I was watching it, but it wouldn't have come to mind before watching it. So, it does feel like a breath of spring. It makes me want it back so badly. So,
Coming. It's there.
it's a cycle.
It's just sleep. Yeah.
What are some of the other themes that also kind of manifest themselves in this video that you were working with?
Yeah. So I picked nature footage as the main the main visual because I feel that it matches the sound. So both the audio and the visuals are simple modulated natural layers. I tried really hard to imitate binaural beats, which is when there's two notes that are so close, there's an audible illusion that there's beats happening and there's like a pulsation. So instead of doing that on with a synth, I just like hummed it a lot. So a lot of the instrumentation is actually just me layering up vocals, which is typical of the music I make. There's some really cool fuzzy bumblebees that you could take attention to. Spoiler alert: there's a beautiful hummingbird that I kind of built the whole film around. I was like, the hummingbird will come in right then, and other than that, I kind of just used making the video as a meditation process for myself too, developing what it would look like. I do have a lot of stop motion animation because I think it looks cool. So yeah.
Very cool. Before we go into watching this video, how would you best prepare people for like the best way to listen to it? You know, we're all going to be watching it together via our Facebook live stream, our YouTube live stream.
Mhm.
But what can we do to make it the best possible?
Well, one, thank you so much for watching it with me. I really appreciate it. If you do have better quality speakers or headphones that you can use, I recommend that because I do have a lot of stereo effects in there. Um, and then, take your time to look at the images. I layer different images of nature so that it's kind of easy to get lost in. It might look like kind of stagnant, but there's a lot of layers where you can explore and kind of zone out in.
Perfect. All right. Well, without further ado, I'm really excited to present on our Live from Cleveland at Home broadcast the accompanying film for Grounded from Uno Lady by Uno Lady.
Thought, remember when this happened to you? 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 Remember when this happened to you? Remember when this happened to you? Ways we wish the world was. Ways we wish the world was. Ways we wish the world was. Ditch resistance, let go of control, feel alive and live open-ended. Ditch resistance, let go of control, feel alive and live open-ended. resistance, let go of control, feel alive and live open-ended. Ditch resistance, let go of control, feel alive and live open-ended. Ditch resistance, let go of control, feel alive and live open-ended.
Take a deep breath in. Exhale completely out. As you breathe in, mentally repeat to yourself, I am breathing in. As you exhale, mentally repeat to yourself, I am breathing out. I am breathing in. And I am breathing out. Allow the breath to deepen. Breathing in fully into the lungs. Exhaling out completely from the lungs. I am breathing in. I am breathing out. Allow the mind to focus completely on the repetition. Feel the sensations in the body of the movement of the breath. The rise and fall of the chest and the belly. The sensation of the breath entering and exiting the nostrils. I am breathing in and I am breathing out. Begin to release the repetition, simply noticing the movement of the breath, honoring the breath, being grateful for the breath. Breathe. Breathe.
your heart and hit the line. Be not afraid, you're not broken, my love. There'll be better days upon us. There'll be better days upon us. Open your heart There'll be better days upon us. There'll be better days upon. Open up your heart. Open up your heart. Open up your heart. Bring down the walls and walls and open up your heart. Open up your heart. Open up your heart. Breathe in, 2, 3, 4. Breathe out, 3, There's a good vibe coming, a good vibe coming our way. There's a good vibe coming, a good vibe coming our way.
All right, welcome back. We just were able to watch the grounded video, and Krista has rejoined us.
I
Are
was
you
here the
there?
whole time.
Okay, beautiful.
I
Perfect.
don't know where you all went.
All right. Well, what a beautiful video. That was, we were messaging back and forth in our little chat, and I said the bee was just so cute, and you said that they stick out their tongues.
Yeah, if you look closely, he's just sticking his tongue out the whole time. It made me so happy.
I was licked by a moth one time. I had no
Oh.
idea you could be licked by a moth.
You gotta take the time to learn these things.
It is really wonderful. And you were saying a little bit before we watched the video about how there is a sort of meditation in counting, like, and looking at all of the little hairs on a flower stem and the different petals. And I feel like that's the same with really taking the time to focus on a small life form like an insect.
Totally. Yeah.
This watching this video together was also really wonderful because we all were able to experience it at the same time, and that was kind of one of the inspirations behind making a film for this, since we can't gather for shows right now. So kind of tell us a little bit about how you wanted the film to accompany this new album.
Yeah, so I think it's one and the same of the project. That's why the same name. And I was trying to explore how can we experience music together if we can't be in a room together. So that was my idea, is to create something of 24 to 25 minutes that accompany the song and give you some sort of visual engagement, as well as something to listen to.
And I recognized a lot of these types of breathing activities and kind of ways to control your own thoughts and meditate, because I go to therapy and get counseling like a lot of people out here in the world right now. And so a lot of the ideas that you brought up in this video weren't necessarily new to me, but it was so interesting to see how you visualized some of these types of exercises from the video that you created. So do you feel like you learned kind of about cognition at all through making this video? And what are some of those exercises that you used to inspire this?
Of course, yeah. So Yes, this was very therapeutic. And one of the examples that I actually learned from therapy myself is the Four Square breathing box. That's the name of the song. And you'll notice that it had lavender, which is calming. And it's supposed to calm your nervous system. And you breathe in for 4 seconds, you hold it for 4 seconds, you exhale for 4 seconds, and then you hold it for 4 seconds, and then you repeat it. I would start to do it and then I would forget what I was doing and start to overthink. So I wanted to make a catchy song so that hopefully the exercise itself gets stuck in my head. And same also with the mantras, it's labeling these thoughts that are coming into our minds. Our brains are just thinking. It's part of purpose. It's electrical impulses that are just going to happen. And it's when we tie feelings to those thoughts that cause us to stress. So in the stop motion animation, you'll see that those thoughts are labeled instead and will be labeled as worry or planning or self-doubt, rather than thinking of it as an abstract thing. Gave it less power for me. And then also balancing out negative loops of thoughts with positive mantras. And then I try to make it a really catchy song, maybe an earworm that gets stuck in your head. So having a positive loop play over and over rather than a self-limiting belief was kind of the approach I was going for.
Yeah, it's awesome. I really responded to the first visual of the video where you have all of the thoughts kind of like blowing away like leaves, which is something I identified with and something that I've done mentally as a form of meditation, and that
Cool.
was just so cool. And you bring up a really great
Thanks, Michelle.
point that there is this like visual and other sensory experience that we get with this that we might not normally get. With the flowers and the breathing, you almost can imagine that you're smelling the scenes all around you, and it's really transporting you
If I
to a
could give
different
everyone a little
season.
bit of lavender oil to huff with it, I would. So, like, I guess if I was in a show
Exactly.
in person, I would try to do that. A little fan, some lavender.
And one of the cool things too about this whole film process is that you really learned how to edit and make this video yourself. So tell us a little bit about some of the skills that you learned specifically to be able to make the video, and some of the work that you put out to other people to complete to help with the film as well.
Yeah, thank you. I couldn't have done it by myself. The grant, it's helped me hire many really talented people. I recognize that maybe not everyone wants to work for as long as I do. So I did hire Sequoia Bostic to help with some line animations. And out to her, I gave her an idea what I wanted, but I gave her to what she ended up layering the nature footage behind her visuals. For the meditations, I'm not a meditation teacher, so I hired Latoya Kent, who is a meditation teacher and is like the calmest, coolest woman in Cleveland. And she's a talented musician as well. I was breathing exercise. She recorded her own words, and then I wrote the songs around her words. On the album, there's another meditation in Spanish that's guided by Erica Snowden Rodriguez, cello. It's gorgeous. I really appreciate their help on it. And then I also, as you mentioned, I taught myself how to learn or how to use Adobe Premiere. I had only been familiar with iMovie. I really love video art, but I'm new to it. But I hope that encourages you if you want to explore a new art form. That's never too late. It's a lot of fun. I do like to learn as I learn through experience. So having a really long thing to make definitely helped me deep dive on it, playing with the opacity of the different layers and the different blending options was really cool.
And just in general, the writing of this album as well, did you feel that the process of kind of like writing these songs in a free state about meditation itself helped you with maybe like some of the inhibitions or challenges that arose during using some of these new processes?
For sure, yeah, it's easy to go into a mindset of like, what am I doing? I don't know what I'm doing, even though I've been doing this for 15 years. it's easy to get anxiety about something. But the beautiful thing is that I proved myself wrong, and then I did even better than I thought I would. So you can have these beliefs that are trying to keep you put and not expand your comfort zone. However, on the other hand, there's an even better positive outcome that you haven't even imagined yet. So I had no clue I would write 20 songs. I have more. I didn't know I'd make like 40 minutes of video. And then I was just really focused on learning these mindfulness exercises. I don't know if I would have had such determination to do it if I didn't have the goal of sharing it with y'all. So that really helped motivate and help myself and help each other.
It is a definite added layer of purpose to this right now, and I feel like that would motivate me as well if I was in your shoes. So that's amazing. And it was amazing also to work with these really talented people in order to get these meditations recorded. The Latoya Kent collaboration, you both hadn't collaborated together until a Mayhall's artist pairing that you participated in earlier this year. So tell me a little bit about that, and now you have even more plans to work together in the future.
Yeah, with Latoya, we had played music together as being on the bill and in our own music acts at the various music venues around Cleveland. So we've hung out in that way. But for the Mayhalls project, we interviewed each other and then we created music together. So I didn't feel comfortable going in a venue yet and encouraging people to get together. So she worked with me on that, and I set up a fake stage on my porch and recording equipment. And she used a loop pedal for the first time, was a pro right off the bat, and we just jammed for like 2 hours. And I like it all. And I hope to make more music with her. She's just so fun to work with.
That's a great video as well. So if people are interested in rewatching this video, seeing where you post more, or even watching that interview with Latoya, where can they go to get more information about you on YouTube?
You can go to my website, unolady.com, and it will link you to my YouTube, Instagram, Bandcamp, Spotify. I'm the Uno Lady on a lot of those, and yeah, YouTube included. And I have that video posted on there and on Instagram.
Perfect. And also on there as well is your awesome performance at the Maltz Performance Center through Case Western, which was a kind of recorded live-ish production, which looks amazing, and really you get a feel for you in the performance sense in a huge place and a huge auditorium, which was kind of vaguely similar to being in France and singing in these churches.
Yeah, it was cool. I'm really grateful for that opportunity. It was I turned it into my record release because I was not able to have one in the traditional sense. And it's just this gorgeous building that was a temple, and it was surreal though to sing to 1,000 empty seats. But I'm really excited about the production quality. It was amazing, and they faded in and out the video I made unprompted. I think they did a really great job on that. That's on the YouTube, my YouTube as well.
The point about all the empty seats. I was sorry. Now this isn't as climatic. I was gonna make a joke like, normally you have to picture the audience naked. What do you do with the 2,000 empty seats? Sorry, and then my moment passed. But
I respect your autonomy.
That's good.
I'm glad I didn't have the pressure of filling all those seats. Like,
true.
Scary too. It's just been like 50 people in the front.
True. One of the cool things too that I wanted to do with you while we have you here on the Live from Cleveland feed, where we can see kind of, it looks like behind you, your music room a little bit, is kind of talk about some of the gear that helped you make this album and has been helping you make music throughout the pandemic. So,
sure. love. Um, this is one of my drums. This is my second drum. These are bells that I like to use as well. So if you hear percussion, good chance it's one of those drums. Resistance, I grew this corn, and
Oh,
it makes a really cool percussive sound. So
I love
I'm
it.
going to use this a lot. Big fan of Earthquaker Devices pedals. So many of the songs feature a lot of the reverb pedals mainly. The Afterneath is really great reverb pedal. Avalanche Run is really wonderful. Arpanoid I used a lot. So when you hear kind of like
I heard it. Yeah.
that's that one. I use a loop pedal very frequently. It's a Boss loop pedal that I really enjoy using, RC30. And this mixer I bought with the grant, thankfully. A lot of my stuff broke while I was making this because I was using it in extreme ways. And because I had this grant, I could relocate the money and buy stuff to continue my practice. If I didn't, I would have cried a lot harder. What do we got over here?
Oh,
We got a
there's whole
keyboard I
design.
bought too because my MIDI
Ooh.
keyboard broke. And a printer.
Perfect. Which I'm sure you get some
pretty much
cool
it.
sounds out of that too.
Yeah,
The
didn't
printer.
record that, but I used the stop motion animations.
Mm-hmm.
So
Very cool.
printed a lot of the stuff. I made copies of it.
It always seems to happen that things break when we're using them the most.
Yeah, my
So-
computer broke. Everything broke. But again, I was relieved because I had these funds that I could relocate, and I was, I might have made an excuse to not get something if it was the other way around.
Right. And just the nature of technology there. So we're always kind of working against that as well. But one of my other questions that I had for you is, how do you feel like your relationship to music has kind of like changed throughout your life? Has it always been the same, or especially with this new project, do you feel like you are kind of learning new things as you go here?
Yeah, good question. My relationship with music has changed. It's evolved, but I've always been a really audibly engaged person. I've been obsessed with music for as long as I can remember and singing as long as I can remember. Um, I really think that music is a community building art form. It's how I found my chosen family. Meeting people at shows like you, making friends that way. People I've been friends with for decades that I met standing side by side, standing in silence but being completely consumed by sound. It's really, I really value being able to create something that didn't exist before you spend the time to do it. And I think that's a priceless value. And as I grow older, I want to own that more and that side of me, and really focus on what I can the world that's unique, rather than like living for other people's missions. So you evolved to identify that creativity and music is my core value that I need to move forward with the rest of my life as that being the main pillar.
I love that.
How about you?
I always say that I'm just a very good listener. And that's the whole
You've got great music
epitome
too.
of what I do. Well, thank you. I really appreciate that. And I've always been a fan of yours, so it's a reciprocal relationship here. I also wanted to ask you a little bit about what you feel like you have or you anticipate coming up in 2021. As the past year has shown us, we cannot anticipate everything, but if you have anything that you're working on that you want people to know about, what can they look forward to?
This album, I have a few more videos that I made to release. There's 2 meditations that I needed to live on their own rather than being a part of the film. And then I've got 2 more little segments that will be released on social media, a little bit more ground trickling out. In the beginning of the pandemic, I just get inventory of the ideas I had because I didn't even know. I just was in like busy mode, create. And I have like an Excel list of 100 ideas. So I'm going to chip away at that. And, try to stay safe, more focus on creativity, go with the flow, hope that opportunities pop up. If anyone has some films that they want some music for, please keep me in mind. That's about the only way I know how to do it out there. And I want to finish my projects from France and focus on editing all the cathedral improv performances I did, and then maybe expand that and find cavernous places in Cleveland that aren't religious that I can sing in as well.
That'll be interesting. There are a lot of religious places in Cleveland, but maybe.
Yeah, religious and non, because like I did,
True.
the cathedrals were wonderful to sing in, but I didn't do it for religious purposes. So just to kind of make it feel more inclusive and not just like a Catholic thing.
True, yeah, yes. Well, thank you so much for being on the show with us today. Where can
Thank
people
you.
go to get all of this great information regarding what you have coming up?
If you unolady.com and subscribe and follow me on all the social media, keep you up. I'm working on. Thank you so much for having me. I really appreciate it.
Perfect.
It's so
Thank
nice to see you.
you. It was so nice. And thank you for everybody at home for tuning in and sending in your comments and your compliments to our show tonight. We really looked forward to presenting this for everybody. So I'm just going to briefly take a second to preview what is going to be coming up next week because I'm also really excited about that. So next week we're going to have Upfront on the show that's UPFRNT, which is a new Black-focused community YouTube channel which they put out videos. Actually, Uno Lady Latoya, who is part of Morning a Black Star, participated in one of their videos. So we're going to talk about that series and how they are bringing music and dance into people's homes during this time of social separation. So that's next week on the show. And you can tune in tomorrow night from 10 to 11 p.m. if you'd like to hear the audio version of this interview. And for people listening to the audio version right now, please check out our YouTube channel and our Facebook channel where this will be archived and you can watch it again if you missed parts of it. You can share it with family and friends if you found it really interesting. So thank you so much again, Krista. It was so nice to speak to you and I hope you have a wonderful night.
Thank you so much. Thanks, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Take care. Stay safe.